Hi guys, this will be the continuation of my book review from Richard Machowicz, Unleash the Warrior Within. Alright, so if you stumble onto this video and you have not watched the previous part 1, please do so. Okay, so on page 97, 7 keys to minimize reaction time. Okay, I'm not going to go into details, but I'll just read the key pointers. 1, limit your response. So in other words, don't try to do or say too much at one time. Keep your answers simple and to the point. Okay. 2, simpler techniques or faster techniques. As martial artists, we all know that gross motor skills, 1-2 combos are better than 10 combinations. A high pressure situation like a job interview is not the time to experiment. By keeping your answers simple and to the point, the interviewers find your point easier to follow and faster to understand. Okay. Number 3, practice your technique. Perfect practice makes for performance that you can rely on. Before your interview, practice answering some of the questions you believe that they may ask. Simplify your answers to the best of your ability. Say them over and over again so they sound smooth and automatic. Develop some specific questions of your own to ask the interviewer. Okay, number 4, position yourself so that your actions are natural, smooth, and efficient. The better prepared you are for your interview, the easier it is to stay flexible, open, and relaxed. This is really important to have a frame. When I train my students to fight, we create a mind frame, a mindset, and we put ourselves into that position, either through posture, either through mental training, or either through certain physical movement. Okay, so you got to have that rabbit hole that you can go back to. Number 5, remember you can react later with fast, simple technique that earlier was simple with slow, complicated technique. So the dichotomy is, if you understand what's going on, you can be more complicated. If you don't know what's going on, you got to keep it simple. So if you enter into a new stressful situation, make sure your plan is simple. And if you've been to that situation many times, then you can experiment and make your plan a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more complex. Okay. Number 6, anticipate correctly and gain a little. Anticipate incorrectly and lose a lot. Very important to do your reconnaissance, to do your research, to understand how things play out, but also not to rely too much on your research. In other words, understand there are variables, and sometimes your research are not based on those variables. Okay. And number 7, all reaction time is shortened with advanced information. So the more you prepare for something, the more information you have, the better your preparation would be. So very important to gather as much information as you can. Okay, chapter 4, 4 critical keys to conquering anything. Okay, so let me look at my notes here. Chapter 4. Okay, so on page 103 has the concept called ACTE, ACTE, and basically ACTE stands for observation. When in doubt, act. And ACTE stands for assess the situation, create a simple plan, take action, and evaluate your progress. All right. So I'm going to move on to the next thing because I'm going to run out of time soon. Actually, I'm going to go into detail for ACTE. Okay, so ACTE, assess the situation. Solution naturally evolve when you know what you're dealing with. Okay, create a simple plan. A simple plan is easy to remember and easy to perform and lead to faster result. Okay, take action. The more direct your route is in taking action, the quicker your result. And finally, evaluate your progress. What happened? Have my plans and my action create my desired result? If not, start over, assess the situation, create a simple plan, take action. In evaluating anything, the 100% rules should be your measuring stick. If it works 100% of the time, it stays. If it doesn't, fix it. If you can't fix it, get rid of it. Okay, and we're gonna go to page 106. Observation scanning technique. This is very important. I'll see if you guys can pick it up here. Okay, and if you follow my description or go to my website, I will post this poster up, this diagram up. But basically what it's trying to tell you to do is that you should scan from right to left. Okay, I guess most of us are right-handed, and also from near to far. So you walk into the room, you should go like this to this, come back, this to this, a little bit farther, and a little bit farther down. Okay, so that's the scanning technique that you should have. Okay, page 108, it talks about primary target scanning technique. Okay, so we'll look at the chart again. Okay, so primary target basically are knocking down primary targets, set up a secondary. Be prepared. Your secondary may change, but list them anyway so that you can always push yourself toward your next target. So in other words, it's like getting into a room and you have to rescue someone, or even achieving your goals in life. You got to knock down things that are in front of you so you can get to your secondary goals. You know, sometimes we get so excited about our goals and our plans that we think so far ahead that we fail to see what's in front of us and what we have to overcome. You know what I mean? And so very important. Okay, we'll move on here. Page 112. Okay, on page 112, it has three core questions for your plan. Okay, and the three questions you should ask yourself is, how do I get there? What do I do when I get there? And how do I get out of there? Okay, let's go on. Chapter 5. Chapter 5's title is Master Your Weapon. Okay, the more I sweat in peace, the less I bleed in war. Okay, seal commandment. And chapter 5 talks about the training pyramid, and the training pyramid is very important, especially if you're training competitive athletes for full contact events, okay, or any sporting event, okay, or actually for anything, okay. And basically this pyramid techniques is on the bottom of the pyramid. You have correct fundamentals. The second layer above that is concentration. The third layer above that is consistency, and then the fourth layer is accuracy, and the fifth layer is speed. So you try not to acquire speed. So for my students, for example, speed is not even important. For example, high kicks are not important. What we want to do is correct fundamentals. Correct fundamentals first, and then once my students can concentrate and do that efficiently, and it becomes second nature, we move to consistency. That's if they do it consistently, and I'm not telling them, okay, you have to do this over and over again. Then the next thing is accuracy. You know, I start moving my target around. When I hold a focus mitt, I start holding them in different positions. I start moving them a little bit farther back, a little bit sideways. Okay, and then finally speed. How long it takes you to get to your target, or what your reaction time is. Okay. He has a very good diagram on page 133 on the concentration. Okay, and I'll show it here. Okay, so the concentration diagram goes like this. Think of it as a funnel. You want to concentrate. It's attention, alertness, focus, and control. And so it works from a funnel to a laser point, pinpoint accuracy. Okay, and so when you tell someone to concentrate, you can't just blurt out the word. You got to give them action step, and the action step is attention, alertness, focus, and control. Okay, and page 142 is look for ways to learn the basics. This is really, really important. The world is moving really fast now, and If you want to be successful in anything, you got to constantly learn, constantly strive. And people always think learning at a university setting. I actually believe that's the wrong way, because it's pre-prescribed. To get competitive, actually, you got to learn on your own, and you got to go out there and learn from the expert. And sometimes the experts are not found in the university setting. All right. If you look at all the great startups, a lot of these guys are just hanging out with other startups, or they're out there just innovating, doing crazy, amazing stuff. Okay, so look for ways to learn the basic. Don't try to pick up an advanced book on any subject and expect to get it. Approach learning like a child learns to run. Expect to crawl for a little while, then walk for a while, and with time and patience, you'll be running before you know it. Okay, so these are the steps. Look for materials that simply explain the basic and how they're executed. Okay, so for example, in my case, my school is in the middle of nowhere. I'm a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm kind of self-taught. So I have books on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coming out of my ears. I have like hundreds and hundreds of books, and some books meet my needs at that moment in time because they're a lot simpler, or they explain it better. And some books are way too advanced for me, and I say, okay, I'm going to put this aside, and maybe 6 months from now, I'll revisit it. Or maybe I will look at it when I understand how to do this move on a much efficient manner. Okay, break down what you're trying to learn into small, simple to understand bit-sized chunk. Don't try to learn it all at once. Remember, when learning is something that requires a journey. So people always get caught up with the end goal rather than the journey. Okay, the journey, to be good at anything, you have to embark on this journey, and this journey takes forever. So my suggestion is read a book from George Leonard called Mastery. You can get it offline, online. You can get it as a YouTube videos. And the whole premises of mastery is to enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, and be a master in that journey. Okay, by learning, make sure that your information you have allows you to get the same measurable result over and over when you try it. Okay, so how do you know you achieved what you wanted? It's because you can replicate that result. And by learning the basic right, you're laying a foundation on which you will build all of your skill. So very important not to be a dilettante, but really master the fundamentals. Okay. Okay. What type of learner are you? So there's 3 types of learner: the visual learner, auditorial learner, and kinesthetic learner. And so a lot of us are a blend of 1 or 2 or 3, or sometimes we're just a blend of 1. You kind of have to find that out for yourself. Okay. Relish your victory. Ask questions along the way. All right. Okay. In this book, actually, let's move on. Page 144. Look at the guaranteed to win. Page 144. Okay, chapter 6, guarantee to win. Okay, so Sun Tzu wrote that the ideal general wins the war before the battle's even fought. Okay, ever fought. Okay, and so on page 152, it talks about here's an acronym called Advantage, and basically it sets you up so that you will have the skill to acquire victory. And advantages stands for attitude, desire, visualization, attention, necessity, timing, alliance, gear, emergency, and skill. Okay, so, I'm not going to go into too much details on each step. You should pick up the book. And page 160 talks about building a phase diagram, And a phase diagram is it's kind of complex. Basically, you want to break down how you're going to accomplish your task or your goal. It's like basically it's like a bank robbery. You're trying to plan every little steps so that there's no hiccups. I think this is very important because there's a logistic involved, and you're dealing with lots of people. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that the phase diagram, you really understand every little details, not just like the details, but all the players involved and how long something takes, and all the emotional energy and physical energy and all the resources you need to acquire something. And so you need to go back to your advantage acronym, so that you always need to relate back to that. Okay, so let's move on to page. And chapter 7, never grow complacent. Okay. This is a quote from John Wayne. Tomorrow is the most important thing in life. Comes into us at midnight, very clean. It is perfect when it arrives and it puts itself in our hand. It hopes that we learn something from yesterday. Okay. And basically, never grow complacent. There isn't any chart or anything. It just talks about just keep on going and always perfecting yourself and always learning, always becoming a master of what you do. Anyways, as you can tell, this book's pretty beat up. I haven't read it in a while, and I'm glad I did a book review on this because I'm going to implement some of the charts and diagrams back into my coaching, into my personal life. As I've been coaching my